if you want to play Barbie High School Mystery for the PC, keep watching this video. All of these links on the screen will be in the description. The first one is the disc of the Barbie High School Mystery game. That's the XP disc you'll need to set up for the virtual machine, and that's the code. I'll show me using all this, and that's the virtual machine player 17. I don't know if this will work with later versions. The first thing you'll want to install is the virtual machine. It may download as a zip file, I'm not for sure, but you can just unzip it. So you right click to unzip stuff. That's pretty simple. And I had these already pre-installed, so that's why I didn't show it in this video. So that error is unrelated. That shouldn't happen when you install it. I was kind of doing this casually. I also didn't rewatch any videos on installing virtual machine. I just did it based off muscle memory. So this may not be the most optimal, but this will work, okay? At least if you're using a Windows 11 Lenovo laptop computer. I am not an expert on this stuff. If you have any major issues, just Google it. You'll have to restart your computer, and then you'll just reopen the exe again to restart the downloading process. The only thing I'm an expert on is some Barbie games, like speedrunning them. I'm really sorry if you have issues with this in the comments, like downloading anything, but this works for me, and this worked for a lot of people in the Barbie speedrunning community, so I am sharing it here. Now you see I'm leaving every option as default here. I'm not really messing with anything. I don't want to be mailed in a newsletter, so I unchecked that. I just leave everything default. It's very simple. I sped this section up because it took forever. You can probably see at the bottom of the screen me time traveling because it genuinely took forever. It installed on the left hand side of the screen because that was the only empty spot, because I uninstalled it to do this tutorial again. I also needed to update it from 16 to 17 because it's been that long since I installed it. Also, I have something pre-installed, you'll see. Just ignore that, the Windows XP. That's just because I had it installed before and it was old data. Also, if you ever want to update it, go to Player, and it should be Update Settings in the corner. Yeah. So, click the Windows XP thing. Again, you could have a little folder like I had there for easy reference. And then just open up your notes to copy and paste the Windows XP key. So just Control C and then Control V. Really easy. And this is the update thing. I was a little bit confused. So it's going to be going in the background throughout this whole tutorial. And after I finished recording, I hit update and let it finish. So yeah, sorry if that's annoying. But if that happens to you, it's totally chill to multitask because it worked out fine for me. My internet's just really slow. And my computer, probably, TBH. Virtual machine name doesn't really matter. I left it in the default installation place. I decided to install them into one file because I only plan to have High School Mystery on my virtual machine. But if you want to do bigger games, I don't know. I guess you could do the multiple files. But that's the only thing from default settings that I ever changed when I was installing this. I also am going to speed up this section really soon. I'm not sure how long it took. You'll probably be able to reference it at the bottom. But just watch a YouTube video in the background. I love watching drama, especially with the strike going on right now. And now, another side note, I got Barbie Diaries to work, and you can play the game without it crashing at all, but you have to make sure to treat the game delicately. Go kind of slow, take it easy, because if you go too fast, it will crash. Now, I will show an example of this in the video, but if you don't want to watch any gameplay of it, you just want to be surprised, just know that it is kind of finicky, and so you should just let the game do it at once. It took a while to install this. There's an error screen that's going to pop up. The error screen always pops up. I have no idea why it does, but you'll see. I just hit OK, and everything was fine, apparently. Again, I'm not the expert on virtual machines or Windows XP, Like, my display is really small in this, and you can make your display larger, but that is a different tutorial, and please do not come for me for real advice. I hit yes to changing the display settings. It doesn't make it much bigger, unfortunately. Also, when you play High School Mystery, you can get the game to look bigger on your laptop or desktop. I didn't do that in this video just because I didn't want to have too much going on in the background. I liked having the black border, but you do not have to have the screen be as tiny. And now I'm just finishing setting up the Windows XP virtual machine. It's mainly doing the stuff automatically. Anywhere it's sped up, it's just an automatic process. I'm not doing anything manually. I hit yes for the display settings. And what you want to do is you want to go on the top left corner and hit player. Then you'll want to go to CD devices, and then you'll go into your files and select the disk, aka the Barbie High School Mysteries disk. This is another good reason why it's good to make like a little tiny folder when you're setting things up, because you can just be there immediately and not have to look around your computer for it. Also, welcome to Microsoft Windows. I just hit exit on that. I think that's tutorial stuff for XP. I don't need it. I don't care. You shouldn't care either. Barbie for life. So settings. If I get to it. Then it's going use ISO image file, which ISO just means disk file. You click that. And then you should be able to access it within your Windows XP with no outside software. And I freaked out because it started automatically, and I'm used to selecting it manually, so I kind of flubbed a bit here. But it pops up on its own. You hit install, and after the game is installed, the major crashing point will be a scene in the library. If you skip cutscenes, you will most decidedly crash in the library. If you don't want this to happen, listen to the cutscene. I am going to show a clip of that cutscene in this video and the puzzle that happens before it, so you know what cutscene not to skip when you play this game. But if that's all you want, the game's installed. It should work just fine. Don't double click on the game to start it up. Obviously, that's just me being goofy. But if that's all you want, if you just wanted to learn how to install it, the video is over. Bye-bye. Now, for those who want proof, who don't believe my word, here is some video of it, and I'm also going to show an example of the game crashing randomly when you click too fast, because you have to treat the game delicately, right? We gotta be nice to it. I was trying to think of a cool file name here, and I just end up using a ship name, which is pretty classic. Hit enter to skip cutscenes. And usually click for stuff. This is a pretty fun game. I understand why you want to play it, very, very understandable. The clip is coming up very soon where I crash the game. It's when you're talking to Candy, and, it can happen anywhere in the game, but I was trying to go really fast and be over with this conversation, but the diary opens, and I hit enter really quickly and, try to exit out, and then it just flashes the screen forever. I exit to the main menu a couple of times. I create multiple save files on accident. It's a big, big mess. So I had to Alt F4 out of the game. If the game ever crashes, just Alt F4 out. You might need to Alt Tab F4 if you're using a laptop like me and don't have an F4 key. And once I restarted the virtual machine, I could just close the tab by right-clicking, but for some reason I couldn't here, so I just had to straight up restart the virtual machine. Again, I am not the leading expert on these things. So, this is the puzzle that happens right before the library. If you've been skipping cutscenes, pay attention to this part, because this is the cutscene you need to watch. Because if you skip it, that notebook gets stuck on top of your screen. And that's an issue because you can't exit out of the notebook, the diary, sorry, because Barbie's using it in the cutscene and it's a non-interactable object, I guess. Usually it pops up there, above the screen, but since you didn't skip it, the screen is clear. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope this was a useful tutorial for you, even though I didn't really do much. Comment any issues or talk to me on Discord. I might be able to help, but 50-50 chances.